Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate the support. And in this video, I wanted to speak to you about the word of the year. And I don't know if you've ever done anything like this. If you've ever thought about what your word for the year is going to be. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I wanted to kind of give you a brief synopsis of why I do it and how it helps me kind of stay on track on the exact thing that I want my year to mean. Now, I think you could do this on a monthly basis if you wanted to, but I find that keeping it to a chunk of time, like a year, is a pretty good amount of time to gauge your time by. So if you did it monthly, I think if you kind of changed your mind monthly, if you kind of moved from one word to another, or one priority or focus in 1 month to another, I think it would be way too haphazard. You'd constantly be moving about. It would be too unstable. But for me, I find when I have a chunk of time, like a year, 365 days, 12 months to focus on one particular thing with, I notice that it really expands my consciousness and it helps me or allows me to become hyper-focused on that particular item. So the point of this exercise is not so that you repeat that word over and over again to yourself, or you get extremely belligerent about it to yourself about that word. It's not about having one more device to torture yourself with, of course. We have enough of that. But the point is to kind of realize, what do you really want to focus on in this new year? What is actually missing from your life? Or what are you thinking that you really would like to have more of in your life, right? Now, I'll give you an example. Maybe that'll clarify things a little bit more. So this new year, 2021, that's coming up, there were a lot of different words that I was kind of thinking about that I would like to focus on. Many different things, of course, and that's how I am. I have a lot of different things that I'm doing, a lot of different focuses, and perhaps that's why I need to really hone down a lot more than I am. But there were a couple of things that I was like, I really like to focus on this, or actually I would like to focus on this as well. So then, of course, I had to really slow down, become still, do a little bit of journaling in order to realize, okay, what is it really? Of course, there's many different things I could potentially focus on, but what do I really want to focus on? What is my heart telling me that I want to focus on? What is my gut telling me I want to focus on? What's my intuition telling me, right? And as soon as I started asking these questions, there was one clear winner among all the different things that I thought I'd like to focus on. And the word of the year for me for 2021 seems like it's going to be innocence. Now, innocence is a really interesting word for me particularly because I noticed that there are two sides of me, and I think that everyone has these two sides. There is that cynical side of me, that extremely, not bitter, but analytical side that likes to make sure that she's on top of things, the controlling side of me that is always unsure if she can ever rely upon someone else, the untrusting side of me that's always like, oh no, I can't trust anyone, I have to do it all myself. That side of me, obviously, is one part of me. And then there's actually a deeper part to me. This part inside of me that's actually not naive, I would say, but innocent. And innocent in a way that I would say it comes from a level of trust towards the universe, that the universe will give me exactly what I need and exactly the time I need, and a level of acceptance that everything that's happening is happening at the pace, at the time, at the level, at the situation that it's supposed to be happening. And so there is this other part of me, as I said, this innocent, accepting part of me, and I'd really like to bring it out more. I'd really like to have more innocence, more acceptance, trust in my life, rather than cynicism and controlling and the idea that I can't trust anyone, the idea that no one is worthy or worthy of my trust or worthy of my reliability, that no one is reliable. All these ideas that I have in my head, I'd like to kind of move a little bit away from that in 2021 and really try to bring a lot more trust, innocence, and acceptance into my life. And so as I started thinking about this, it really felt good in my heart. It really felt good in my mind. I felt like this was the thing. This is what I want to focus on. So this is going to be my word of the year, is innocence. And I've explained to you how it's going to look in my life, how it's going to seem. So whenever I'm being cynical, or whenever I'm being untrusting, or whenever I feel like I'm not relying upon the universe to take care of me, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and move to the other side and say, okay, let's try and bring more innocence into my life, bring more trust, more acceptance, all of that. So it's a really easy way to kind of bring yourself back to maybe balance, but also bring yourself back to your focus. What do you really want to focus on? Now, of course, there's many different people who have different focuses, and every single person on the planet, I'm sure, will have a different word. Well, maybe not every single person, but everyone almost will have different words that they'll be focusing on for this year and in the past years as well. So I've done this in the past as well, but I wasn't as diligent about it as I am right now, because I didn't really function that much from the gut as I do right now. And I'm not as trusting and accepting as I am right now. So I'm really excited actually to bring more of this quality into my life. The hard thing about innocence for me is that even though I might be going into a situation with innocence and trust and acceptance, the people around me might not. And so obviously all of this is a reminder for me to bring more strength into my own convictions, to realize, okay, if I believe that a certain thing is a certain way, even if everyone else says it's not, to believe in myself, to believe in my gut, to believe in my intuition, and to go along with that rather than sticking to the idea that everyone else might have about the particular situation, right? And so maybe this is actually a test that the universe is sending me. Be innocent, be more trusting, be more accepting. Realize that just because someone is saying something doesn't mean that you should just follow them blindly. Everyone else doesn't have a better opinion, or a more stronger opinion, or a more valid opinion than you. And this is something that I'm always constantly dealing with, is that I always believe that, if someone else thinks some way, then maybe they should know what they're talking about, so maybe I should just follow them blindly, which is obviously not the way I want to live my life. And I'm becoming better at it, but I think this 2021 year focus on innocence, trust, acceptance will really help me become more and more of a believer in my opinions and my convictions rather than someone else's. So again, this word of the year, it's actually a really powerful tool that can help you gain a whole lot more perspective on who you are, what you want your life to be, what you want your year to be, and all of that. And it's extremely easy to do. It's basically just listening to your gut and listening to your heart and listening to what you want this year to mean for you. A lot of people actually, maybe it's going to be that they want this year to mean less slowing down and more going after their dreams. For other people, it might be more of less than acceptance. It might be more becoming cynical and realizing that people are not always what they seem. For other people, it might be more about getting into flow state, or realizing that they don't play enough, or that they want to have more love in their life. So there's so many different things you could possibly be focusing your life on and your year on, but instead of kind of taking it month by month or life by life, you kind of break it down a bit and you say, okay, what do I want this year to be about, right? I also did a video previously about how I want 2021 to be a year of slowing down. That's completely different. That's actually the way I'd like to do it, because I think if I slow down, I can actually live more in my innocence rather than my cynicism. So of course, I think slowing down is a tool, but the focus is going to be on innocence. So I hope you kind of get the meaning and the difference between the two ideas, because they're very separate from each other. So I would recommend that if you have the time, the space, or the energy, it's 2021 is still a couple of days away. And it doesn't mean that you have to get it done before 2021 starts. You can still even do it in the first 2-3 weeks of 2021. So if you are interested, sit down and think about what you want 2021 to look like. What word do you want to portray that year? And if you are interested, you can message me and share your word with me. I'd love that. I'd love to know what other people are thinking about their year, what 21 is going to be like for them. I think it'd be so fascinating. So share with us for sure. I'd love to hear. And if you have questions particularly about this or anything else that I've done, let me know. I'm here to answer your questions. Again, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.